Hey guys, ANY here, and yeah, today I have something I would actually say special to show to you. It's one of the really strange moments where I am going to be more revealing about myself and open with you guys than I am with many people I know in real life. Which is still a weird concept. I mean, you guys, most deepest connection I have with most of you is maybe that you left a comment and I replied to it. By the way, just want to point out, I do read all comments I get on all my channels. And if I don't reply, it's simply because I don't have anything meaningful to reply. Nevertheless, not the point I was going for. By the way, this is me wearing for the very first time my Euroferns 21 shirt. Yay! As I mentioned last time, I still think that last year's shirt, this one, looked a lot better as a shirt because it has the graphic, the image on it is really a shirt image, if you get what I mean. Like it's an image that fits on a shirt, and you see it on a shirt, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a typical. It has text and stuff like this. What do you expect from images on shirts? And this looks just like a piece of art that happened to be printed on a shirt. It's just an image. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a shirt image, if you understand what I mean. I mean, am I the only one who understands what I mean here? Please explain in the comments down below. Am I just crazy, or is there actually something like images who fit on shirts and feel like shirt images, and other images who are more like images that happen to be printed on a shirt? This would be something I would expect on the backside on the shirt, but no, the backside is blank. It's just one gigantic image on the front. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like, it doesn't feel right. Okay, this was not the special thing I wanted to share with you today. Sorry about that. So something probably most of you can relate to is wanting to have this feeling, I need to do something, or I want to do more with my life. I want to do something special. I would like, wouldn't it be great to do this and that? And so the thing is, I assume most people have this kind of thought, but often enough it never gets done. You just daydream about it, and you are like, would be great to do this and that, or to have this, or whatever. And most of the time you have to work towards something to do. Okay, I just pick an example of where I will come back later to. I want to be a good guitar player. I want to be able to play at least a few cool songs on the guitar. I will not do this as a professional, but if you are in a circle of guys or friends or people and a guitar gets passed around, you want to be like, hey, I pick it up and I can play a little bit, like entertain people, be like, hey, whatever. And so to be a good guitar player, not like band good, like average hobby, pick up a guitar once in a while guy. This level of good, not a great one, but one who can pick up a guitar and play a little bit. And then also play a little bit, not just the basic chords like ba ba bam ba ba bam ba ba bam, but really a little bit more exotic stuff. So yeah, you can sit there each and every day and dream about, wouldn't it be nice? But nothing will ever happen, and you will sit there 10 years later and still be like, if only I could play the guitar. Nothing will happen. Face it. But you have to work towards it. What you have to do is pick up your freaking guitar, pick it up at least once a day and be like, hey, oh, I was better at this. Okay, I would not be able to play it like that, and I still can't recall I always forget how the refrain goes, the chorus. You will not be able to do this if you never pick up your freaking guitar and you don't start like. Okay, this chord is like 2 fingers here, okay, and the next chord is this 1 finger over here. If you couldn't see this, okay, but yeah, the first chord and the second chord, you will never, if you don't sit down and do this like, and you practice a lot, you will not be able to do this. And this is just a very simple example everybody more or less can relate to. So yeah, you need to most goals, as long as they're not unrealistic, are reachable. But only if you do something, if you work towards them. How do you work towards goals? Just to get off your lazy butt and do it. And for this very purpose, I got an advice not so long ago, like how to do this, how to not be the person who is just sitting there and is like, oh well, I would like to do this, but be a person who actually gets shit done. And the easiest way to do this is like, remind yourself of it. Just have a reminder which is like, hey, I could do something towards this goal right now. I have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes. Let's pick up the guitar. Try this chord again. Stuff like that. So here's the thing, the advice I got. It's like a little bit of an process, a manual. Step 1 is basically sit down for 20 minutes and write down every wish, dream, desire, whatever you have. Just write it down for 20 minutes. Just constantly write, either with hand or on the PC, doesn't matter. Write for 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if it is unrealistic, crazy, or whatever. First, step 1, just write it down for 20 minutes straight, so that even the more exotic ideas you don't think of at first, even that those come out. Just do this for 20 minutes. Then, in the next step, go there and probably do a little bit of evaluation what actually is a realistic goal in life you want to pursue. And then step 3 or 2.5 or whatever is to find visualizations for those, because if you have this goal written down in text form, you just have a block of text there. It isn't something you just see from out of the corner of your eye and you are reminded of something. You are just like reminded, oh, right, there's this text about dreams, but you don't have any clue what it is about. So basically find visuals for it. Visualize all your goals, your dreams, your desires. Visualize them so you have a reminder, and collect those in a little bit of a collage, a board, and put it somewhere dominant. Put it somewhere where you see it each and every day multiple times. So basically my idea is to put it right up there on top of my 2 screens, because let's face it, this very spot I'm sitting right in right now is the spot I occupy second most in this entire flat. Number 1 would be the bed, and if I wouldn't work 40 plus hours a week, this would be number 1. During my college days, this chair was the spot I occupied the most throughout the day, period. So basically, what I'm going to present to you is my board of things, of goals I came up with, and I got visuals for, and the board I will, right after showing you presenting it to you, will put up there, that whenever I'm sitting on my PC, I'm just surfing or just switching through DeviantArt, Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, like, oh, is there anything new? I'm so blah. Just as this kind of wasting time rather actively. In those moments, at least I hope, that I will look up there and be like, oh, right, you could do something for this now. Let's just do something, just a small thing for this. Or, this one, I probably should do this one now. Just to have this, instead of wasting time, be like, hey, I could invest this time into this. And feel better about myself afterwards. And I actually might reach this goal someday. I will never, if I don't do anything for it. But just to have this reminder there. I can give you a little bit of an update in a few months if it worked and how well it worked. But yeah, for now, as I mentioned, I will go to you and reveal to you my board. Thing is going, which once again, I think it's funny because I designed it in a way that I can take it off the wall very easily and just put it in a corner whenever somebody comes for a visit, and I don't want to expose myself to this person this manner. And now I'm going to show it to you. Bunch of strangers on the internet. You are welcome. I guess this is a whole internet anonymity thing working in a different way. I mean, we know that internet anonymity has this brings out the worst in people in form of trolls and haters and threats and stuff like this. But it also works the other way around. I feel more comfortable talking to you because I don't have to face you on a daily basis. It's weird. It's how the internet works, I guess. So yeah, taking my pants off and showing to you what's below the surface. So this is it in its entirety. Oh yeah, you can see my two screens there. Yay! What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down. I'm going to take off my webcam and show it to you directly, because otherwise this will make it a lot easier, I guess. And I still don't have to do editing afterwards, which is one of the most important aspects for me. So a little bit of editing became necessary after all, because it was all blurry and stuff. So here we go again, this time for a change with the autofocus being turned on. Usually I'm a big not fan of autofocus, but yeah, this time around it's the better way to go. So let's start in the top left corner. This image, for those of you who are not familiar with this fellow, is an image of Silver Quill drawn by Mage, which is kind of representing on two levels the same aspect I want to talk about. It's those are both very creative people in very different aspects. Mage is mostly known for her art, and Silver Quill is somebody who is also a fellow YouTuber and who does a lot of very creative stuff with his channel. And while I myself am rather well in adapting and emulating styles of others, I still want at one point be the person who can be like, hey, this is not only good, it is original and good. And so yeah, those creative people, I look up to them. I'm a big fan of those, and I'm like, hey, one day I want to be like, look at myself and be like, hey, you're one of them. And yeah, I still I don't know, it probably just takes one bigger project where I can be like, yes, this was an original idea, now I feel good about myself, and I do my usual stuff again. Something like this. I don't know. But yeah, it is for me a little bit of a reminder that I want to tackle the more creative project, that I don't get stuck in routine, because it's often enough a thing with my series on YouTube that I end up in a little bit of a routine spot, and this should remind me of, hey, try something new every now and then. This one, I already talked about it earlier, is, guitar playing. I haven't picked it up in, until I did it a few moments ago, I haven't picked it up in a really long while, and this is a sad thing, because as I explained to you guys, you can easily be a great guitar player if you just pick it up on a regular basis. So yeah, once again, here's a reminder, like, dude, if you want to be a guitar player, just pick up the guitar and play. Okay, Employee of the Month. This is, of course, not representing me to be becoming an Employee of the Month in a literal sense. No, it is basically, I want to become a valuable member of my company. So far I'm on a good way, I just want to point out. I started there a little bit over 1.5 years ago, and I originally I got offered the position as a, what's it called, not a volunteer, one of the lowest tier in the picking order. An intern, yes, that's it. I originally got a position of an intern, but already with promise for more. It was really more of a testing phase, and by now I have 2 employees under me, but this is already great, but I still want to have, there are so many great ideas for projects I have, and I want to realize them. And often enough, it's just this thing of here. Example, this one. We work with NetSuite in our company and as a CRM, and I am basically one of the people who works the most with NetSuite, and I want to create really new processes that benefits the entire company. But to do this, I need to sit down at home and read this freaking book I just showed you. So this is a reminder that if I want to be as great at the company as I can be, I should also live it a little bit at home, not only at the company. I mean, at work I do a good job, but it takes a little bit more. It takes a 10% on top of 100%, and those 10% include that every now and then I should sit down at home and do something like gather new knowledge and stuff like this. And so this is my reminder of becoming a great employee. This one, you might guess where this is going. It has nothing to do with this particular girl we can see here, which kind of turned blurry for a moment. Hello, I picked you for being a sharp girl. No, this doesn't really make sense in English. Nevertheless, it's not about the model which is playing here. It is about a girlfriend. Man, big clue here. Yeah, what I want from a girlfriend and. Is that on one hand she should be a pretty one. I have to admit I'm a little bit superficial like that, but yeah, I'm looking for a pretty one which also is nerdy. Like I don't know, I don't have any particular. I don't have a checklist like she has to have this and this and this and this, but she should have something that she can relate to my own nerdiness. I mean, if she is a complete normal mainstream girl and she can be the loveliest girl in the world and she can totally adore me, but if we don't have a common ground, I mean, what do I spend my time in? With YouTubing, video gaming, comics, furry fandom, and so on. If she can't relate to any of that would be a sad thing. So yeah, I need her to be into something. I don't know if she is an anime girl or in her own fandom, or if it would be beautiful if she would be playing computer games and stuff, so we could play together. She should be into TV shows like I am, so we can watch shows together, stuff like this. And I'm looking a little bit of the nerdy show, watching a little bit of the nerdy show. So yeah, that's a little bit like what I'm looking for. But once again, the problem is, especially when you are into nerdy girls, you will know it is a little bit trickier to find them, since they are not the kind of girls you usually meet in the club or something, or when you go out in town in the evening. Because I don't enjoy going there, so why should she? Doesn't make sense. So yeah, this is a reminder that I still have to be on the look, because it's a little bit trickier for somebody who is into nerdy stuff to find somebody else who is into nerdy stuff. This one, this is about the idea of being part of something action movie like. I can basically picture two possible scenarios. Scenario one being, even in a very small part, just being an extra or something in an actual big movie production where there is big explosion and stuff, and you are just one there and you get blown away and stuff, something awesome. Or, which might actually be the more the closer one for me personally, producing something yourself, like for YouTube, doing this kind of action stundy singy video clip. Basically, what it is in particular, I don't mind. It's just like, those either YouTube clips or scenes in movies where you are just like, yeah, awesome, testosterone, something like this. And I just want to be part of something like where everybody sees and is like, yeah, that's awesome. And then I can be like, yes, and I was there. This sounds funny. Okay, this one. This is actually a photo taken far too long ago with my best friend back in the days. My actual girlfriend. We went steady for quite a while, and we had this holiday in Spain. And this picture is just one we took there just for fun, and it was such a great time. And yeah, I have to say, it was one of the happiest times in my life, and I want to be once again in such a spot where I can be like, yeah, I just have to pick. When I look at this picture, it is like I go, oh, and I wanna, I basically, I'm like, dude, you need to find another spot, probably with somebody where you can be like, what a beautiful time. And yeah, so this is like reminding me, so hey, there was this, it has been there once, it can be there again, so keep your eyes open. This one, I wanna design my own board game. The game you see here, La Cosa Nostra, is actually a rather fitting example because it was done by one dude over the span of, I don't know, 10 years or something. So he designed it and polished it over a very long period of time, just because. And it actually was his first game. He didn't do anything before. He just took this one game, had this one idea, and worked on it and worked on it. And well, I played it a while ago in some kind of convention thingy, and I instantly bought it because, well, it's a very nice and interesting and unique game. And the fun thing is, I already designed the game once. It was in the context of my studies. I did it for a class with other students. So it's a little bit of a tricky thing because how could I go about it, like publishing it or not publishing it, since there have been other people involved in designing the game. And so I basically would like to start from scratch and do something original by myself. The next one, oh, this one is actually probably the least inspired one on the entire board. It is about having a really, really good PC for editing and stuff. That's it. It's easy in the way that all you need to do for it, or all you can do for it, is save up some money and buy it. So. But then again, I'm also on a good way with this one because thanks to the fact that my main board died 2 weeks ago, I had to replace it, and I will also use the opportunity to replace a few other stuff, and by now it is a quite good one. There's still a few older assets in there. Maybe some high-end pieces would be useful at one point or another, or some additional peripheral hardware. But yeah, I'm on a good way here, and as I mentioned, it's just a matter of saving up money and buying it. This one actually goes into a similar direction. This represents like I want basically getting a bigger flat. Right now, this is a one-room flat, and at one point this is really just far down the line, like future. At some point in the future, nothing in close proximity. It's like, hey, having a flat where there is enough space that I can have my extra spare room, or at least a corner where I can put up my green screen with lighting and stuff and have it there ready at all times. Because this is basically my main problem at the moment, that producing something with the green screen would mean that I have to put the green screen up, balance lighting and everything, and I barely can't use my flat at all during this period. So it is a lot of effort and inconvenience to do it. I want a convenient way to use it, because then I would use it more again if it was really just, hey, I have an idea, I jump in front of it, I record something, and done. Now this one, oh, this is like what's his name? Joe something. I forgot his last name. But yeah, Joe is like, oh, this is, the Game Ago was just a joke. I'm totally into him. No, actually, this picture is not about him. Even so, I think he's a very fun actor. I like seeing him. No, this is about he is basically the kind of trained body type I pursue for myself. Like, I will probably never reach his levels because he probably has stuff like a special diet and a personal trainer and stuff like that. Stuff I don't have and I don't have the time for and whatnot. But he's the direction of fit and muscular I'm aiming for myself. I don't like those super bulk gorilla guys like on steroids and stuff you see in a fitness studio. I like them more a little bit compact and sleek. Is this a word? Sleek? I don't know. I just make it a word now. Sleek guy, kind of athletic. So he is basically my reminder that when I feel lazy, like, dude, do your exercises or you will never look like this. So yeah. Now, from this very, very well-trained person to this very, very not well-trained person, Jesse Cox. For those of you who haven't caught on to it yet, I'm a total Jesse Cox fanboy. However, this image itself is about meeting him as a person, as somebody on an eye-to-eye level, as a friend, not as a fanboy meeting his idol. Um, this is basically, and he also is a stand-in for other people, like maybe also Total Biscuit, and I don't know, I don't have too many idols at the moment, but people I look up to and I want to meet them as equals, like walk up to them, not like, Mr. Cox, oh, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I don't even know. Can I take a picture of you? Not this kind of meeting. Like being able to walk up to him and be like, hey, Jesse, nice to meet you, and talk about stuff, and not be like, I watch your videos, I like your videos. I mean, this is a great thing to say and to hear as somebody. Every now and then it actually happens that, especially at meetings or conventions, that people come up to me and are like, hey, I like watch your stuff, and it feels great, and I think like, hey, you are awesome people for liking my stuff and telling me about it. This is an awesome thing. But for me and my idols, I want to be like able to approach them not as a fanboy. This is basically what it's about. Like being there and having something meaningful to say with them, and maybe getting them to play a board game with me, something like that. Oh yeah, this one. Also, of course, only a stand-in. Lord of the Rings is not supposed to represent something about Lord of the Rings itself. No, it's about me writing a novel. Fun fact, I already did write a novel. Remind me of something else I already did. I already did write a novel, but it was a horrible one. And I would probably publish it for you guys to experience it yourself. The only problem is it's in German. So, and I'm not going, it's too bad for me to waste time translate it. It has really everything you need. Every bad trope, starting from a Mary Sue protagonist, from a Mary Sue self-insertion protagonist, who is a dick, but everybody likes him anyway. So the worst of the worst. So basically what I want to do is write an original, it also has to be an original fiction. If I write anything, I don't know, maybe it could be something fandom related, but I guess something completely original, standalone would be the thing I would be the most satisfied with, that I write a story which gets generally acclaimed and has a wide audience. Also, this is also a thing I would say I have it in me. I would say most people have it in them. The only thing is you need to remind yourself of doing this. You need to sit down and you actually have to start, first of all, collect ideas, concept the entire story, and eventually start writing. All those things don't happen on themselves. You have to do them, and this hopefully reminds me of doing so. Now, up here, if you don't recognize those fellow people, those are the members of Team That Guy with the Glasses, or by now known as Channel Awesome. This is a group photo at the end of their second year anniversary. I believe it was the second year. Kick-Ass year, the big special. I believe it was the second year, no, wasn't it? The first one was a brawl, the third one was an adventurous thing. I believe it was the second year. Anyway, what this is about is becoming a successful internet person. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm not a successful internet person at the moment, but the problem is, as much fun as it is to do what I do, and as much as I love, especially with ANY Entertainment, I got far with ANY Entertainment. The only problem is that it is a very niche content I produce. And there's basically two things I would say you can measure success on, which is either doing something which plays back to the first one about originality and creativity, doing something very unique, original, creative, which might not appeal to everybody, but which has a very loyal and passionate fellowship, like having a small one, but it's one that is so convinced about you, it's standing so behind you, that they are willing to support you on a level that I basically, if you make a certain amount with for example Patreon, this would be the monetary goal you could reach. Another goal would be a simple subscriber count, for example, another good one. Yeah, I mean, I have a few different ideas how I could measure the success, and I'm on a good way, and I love it where it is right now. But I'm a little bit like I want to do better. So this is basically the goal. Like for me as a reminder to make a really no really only a really one really is enough. A successful YouTube channel. Or not necessarily YouTube. I mean, fuck YouTube. It could basically be on any platform, but that it is beyond just the 20k or the limitations of a niche. That it is more generally appealing or applicable. And I hope you guys who are already sticking with me will enjoy it as well and be there for the ride. So looking forward to that. Another easy one, kind of similar to the guitar one. I want to cook more and I want to become better at cooking. I have the basics. I mean, you can give me every recipe and I am more or less capable of making it. I had a little bit of kitchen experience in my apprenticeship. I mean, I'm a professional hotel clerk, and as such, you also spend quite a bit of time in the kitchen during your learning years. So I have the basics, but there is so much more you can do. Like my best friend, once again, when she stands in the kitchen, she can be like taste a sauce and be like, it needs a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and she just takes random stuff from the kitchen and makes an awesome tasting sauce. And this is where I want to be as well. But once again, the one thing I have to do is cook. I have to cook. So this is my reminder of actually cooking every now and then, man. Good news, today I bought a few fresh ingredients, so I'm actually going to cook. Then again, I'm going to cook the same thing I always cook, so yeah, I should also become a little bit more brave and curious and try out different stuff. This one, if you there's some recurring themes here, I just realized. This is Jesse Cox again, but in this particular one, it is about him being, his funniness. I often say that I am not funny, I'm entertaining. Because it's hard for me to tell if people actually laugh out loud when they see my stuff, because there's a problem about YouTubing, you don't have a live audience. You don't know if you are really funny in a way where people can laugh out loud. But I have a feeling I could be funnier, or I want to be funnier, like Jesse. Jesse is funny, or once again Silver Quill. Silver Quill is actually, while Jesse is more the spontaneous funny guy, Silver Quill can write scripts funny. I'm really more like the I'm playing a little bit with my own weirdness there, and maybe sometimes I'm a little bit too stiff. Often enough, I'm getting too much about. I'm focusing too much about seriousness. I just giving a little bit more humor into the stuff I do every now and then, to being a little bit more loose with cracking jokes. This is basically where I want to go, and this is my reminder there. We're getting close to the endings. This one, I want to be. I want to be part of a panel at a bigger convention. I mean, there are different fandoms I'm in, so I can see this happening in different circumstances. But yeah, getting up there, and this is really extremely egotistical, I have to admit. But hey, come on, guys, I'm a YouTuber, and of course I'm narcissistic and like to feed my own ego. But yeah, I already had a panel at this small convention here in Berlin, but making it on the big panel, I come on, you have to go to aim high. So having a panel at a really big convention, not necessarily alone with other people, but having a big room with hundreds of people in front of you, it's like, what? Sounds great. This one, you will not believe it. You will probably not believe it because you know me mainly from my channels and podcasts and stuff, and I'm usually not the quiet person who has problems capturing an audience and saying something. Now here's the fun, ironic part. I am a little bit in real life, at least in certain circles. it is like when it's a meetup of the fandom, I still have a good, I still have an good, I still can make good ground, but often enough when I talk with people where I lack the context of fandom or so, I mean, I'm struggling a little bit of being an interesting person to talk to. I often mention that I'm not great at small talk. Um, so I, yeah, and because I'm often talking about this rather nerdy stuff, I'm a little bit of lacking in having good context for the not nerdy conversations. And this is basically where I want to work on myself. Like, hey, being able in a mainstream setting to talk to people, to be an interesting person to talk to. And this is actually something I need to work a little bit on myself, because I do this thing of shutting down a little bit and being more quiet and more an observer in the corner, and becoming more active. This is basically where I want to go with it. And last but probably maybe even least, is this one of my persona ANY, spelled AYN, new word WYE, basically having a fursuit of him. This is either a very expensive endeavor or a very time-consuming endeavor, depending on if I buy it or if I commission it or if I do it myself. This is really more a nice to have instead of I need to have. So yeah, that is basically all of it. Yeah, as I mentioned, this was me pretty much, yeah, opening up to you guys. No, it is really, yeah, I just, on a certain level, I kind of wanted to share it. I mean, as I said earlier, I kind of intend to hide it depending on who is visiting, but yeah, now you know a little bit about what I want to do in life and what I'm going for. And you see, YouTube is still a part of it, so I will still be around for a long time. I mean, on multiple occasions. The green screen is about making videos. I want to be part of a cool action scene, and I see it more probable to make this scene myself with friends like Dustin, who is a guy who is very good with technology. He has he has, I believe, high-end equipment. He is very good at editing fancy stuff. So having maybe somebody else who is willing to act, having him as a producer, having me, and having another actor would basically all I need to make a cool action thing myself. So this might be about YouTubing at the end of the day. A lot of those things were about YouTubing. So yeah, you don't have to worry about me not leaving you. But yeah, so maybe you can take this as a little bit of inspiration to do this for yourself. If you are the kind of person who is like, damn it, I also have a lot of stuff. I'm always like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Do it yourself. Write down the list. Do this, sit down for 20 minutes, write all your heart's desires, all your ideas, all your dreams, write everything down, then go over the list, find the stuff which is actually like, hey, I can do this, and in the next step, find the images, print them or something or whatever, and put them out there. Put them in the dominant space where you see them each and every day, and this might give you the necessary incentives to be like, okay, now I will sit down and do something for it. Yeah. And as I mentioned, I will let you guys know how things turn out for me. I give you a little bit of an update a few weeks or months down the line. And yeah, this was me letting down my pants and sharing. Still feels awkward. Bye, guys.